Hello to all photographers, stock photographers, AI stalkers, and other stock contributors. This is the segment called So, How Are the Sales? Where once or twice a week I talk about what I sold the previous day. And today, here are the stats for May 23rd. The images will appear in this part of the screen, so you can take a closer look at them there. So let's start with this one. Well, I wouldn't call it a series. These are different photos. I just have a lot of very neuro photographs. Of course, this is generative content, AI images on various topics related to different professions. And here, in particular, you see a man who is cheerfully fixing some wires. Wires, I guess, right? And a woman who is either a consultant or maybe a customer in a music store who is apparently trying to play something on the saxophone. Ah, yes. Right now I have about 40,000 pieces of content in my portfolio if we're talking about Adobe stock. And of course, the majority of it is AI generated content, which is why it sells best. Nevertheless, I've noticed a trend that my older stock photo content, my food photography, has been selling more and more often. Here are a few examples of the food items that are selling for me. Sales of my old food photographs are increasing more and more. So two photos on of them shows seemingly ice cream shot from above. Yes, in case you didn't guess what it is, it's not ice cream, it's an imitation, a mixture of powdered sugar and condensed milk with certain colorings added. It kind of looks like ice cream, but it's dry and can be stored for years. These bowls can be stored for as long as you like. I took this photo back when I was living in Kazakhstan, in the city of Astana. Now we moved to Spain 7 years ago. So this is that shoot, and this photo actually sold. Honestly, I never really liked it, but nevertheless, it was purchased, and thanks to Boo for that. The second photo is a collage. This is one of my most popular collages on Adobe Stock, which I uploaded under the keyword food collage. I used to have 10 images. So basically, when it came to food collages, I actually held a pretty large share of the market, if you can put it that way. That's why I had a lot of sales. But I haven't shot food for many, many years now. Well, not many years. It's been 2.5 years since I last shot food. And accordingly, I haven't made any collages either. So sales have become much less frequent. But nevertheless, they're still happening. And here are a couple more photos. This is a series, meaning they were shot with the same ingredients. These are photos with seafood ingredients that I simply arranged neatly and beautifully over the course of an hour, brushed them with oil. And of course, these photos did really well for me. Well, because what's beautiful is beautiful. No point in hiding it. And they're not just popular on Adobe, they're even more popular on Shutterstock, though the composition there is a bit different, or rather the framing is different. The shot is closer. So when you put in the effort and do a great job, it pays off in sales. Here's another photo. It's a photo of a guy who is smiling pleasantly against the background of either a workshop or a warehouse. Notice the format, it's square. Usually I create horizontal images, most often less frequently vertical ones, and even less often square images. But this is a sale from a relatively recent batch with a strong bokeh effect in the background. Everything is blurred, as if a doctor has just pulled out a tooth and is holding it in his forceps or tweezers, whatever the correct term is. Feel free to correct me in the comments if you know the right word. Of course, this is AI generated content and I mix it into my sales feed. Both types AI generated and non-AI sell very well. Here are a couple more interesting sales. They're interesting because just yesterday my feed was flooded with my old food photographs, which is of course nice since it means they still have the potential to sell and be bought. I remember it clearly, specifically cooked some kind of jam or preserves just to photograph it on these gray backgrounds. Those were my favorite backgrounds. When it came to backgrounds, I usually made them myself. And in this case, the backgrounds are no exception. You take some kind of putty, add dye, and spread it over plywood. You end up with pretty good backgrounds, basically. Later, I made backgrounds on canvas, and then I started buying backgrounds. Now, all of them are just gathering dust. Although more and more often, I find myself thinking, should I maybe return to food photography a little and start shooting food photos again? Although I enjoy it in terms of time investment, it does take quite a while, unlike, say, generating neural content. Well, those were the sales for May 23rd. The only thing I wanted to mention is that right now I'm using my keywording tool. The link to it will be below this video. The keywording tool helps you quickly generate titles, descriptions, and keywords for your photos using artificial intelligence. Right now, you can follow the link and describe 10 photos for free. Give it a try. If you like it, you can get a paid subscription. Thank you all and wishing you great sales.